Let me get to my okay. We are live this Tuesday. Everybody good?
Oh
Everybody
yeah.
ready to rock? Mm, 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 mm,
All right, here we go. Well, good morning.
mm. Good morning.
Okay.
Hmm.
Morning.
Okay.
It's
Uh-huh.
okay.
What kind
It's
of night
okay.
did you have last night?
Right? What kind of afternoon did you have?
Mm-hmm.
It's been long. Welcome to Tainty of Life, everyone. I am your host, Veronica.
Victor, thank you.
Oh, oh, okay. You forgot your bell again, Fatigue?
Yes, someone is lost up here somewhere, and the other one's in the car.
Oh,
Oh,
Hell, you got three?
Two.
you. I was
You
getting
brought
ready
this.
to say what, and you
One
don't know
is.
where they're at.
Yeah.
Well, welcome to Take a Tea of Life, everyone. I am your host, Veronica, back with you on this Tuesday night. My brother Victor, damn it, boy White, is back with us tonight.
I gotta get my bell back.
Yeah, bell
Boy,
kind of broke.
yeah, this
What is going
this
on
this
here?
ghetto fabulous bell ring. It ain't working for me.
Oh, really?
I'm
At
gonna
least
get
we
me a
giving them out, right,
I'm gonna
Victor?
get me a bomb, a real bomb. I'm gonna call
Oh,
Flex,
I have one
Funkmaster
of those.
Flex. No,
Excuse me.
can you
Brother
hear it?
Fatine is back with us all the way from WBLS radio station, New York.
Okay, we heard that ant explosion. All right,
Oh, you got a little bell too. One.
that's cool. That's cool, brother Hayden. I got it. I got
Ah,
it.
well, Nick is back with us again
Yeah,
tonight.
yeah,
Welcome,
yeah. Mm-hmm.
Nick Cruz, back to the show.
Mm-hmm.
So we have a welcome everyone. Thank you. Hey, Miss Rainey. Hey, Lisa. All of you for joining us tonight. We appreciate y'all for tuning in every Tuesday nights for some tea. And let me do the respectful things and kick the show off by apologizing once again. I feel like I've been apologizing, the past few days. But apologizing to all three of you once again. Definitely Victor and Fatine for making a decision without you guys knowing. Last Tuesday, I made a decision on my own to invite Neat to the show as a what's the word,
Permanent.
a permanent co-host without talking to my brothers Victor and Fatine. So I did the adult thing, the professional thing, and Neek and I got on the phone and we spoke about it, and she understood where I was coming from. So I never make a decision when it comes to the tea without involving Victor and Fatine. They love to say that it's my show. Whatever I choose to do, they'll go along with it. But that's just not me. And I've always been that way. Any decisions that I make when it comes to the show, I want to include them. But last Tuesday, I was just in the moment, so I was like, I'm gonna ask Neat just to be to go ahead and be permanent. But then I had a conversation with Neat. She understood when I explained to her that I went about doing things the wrong way, and I, what do you call it, rescinded my invitation for her being a permanent host. So until we decide to have a permanent host, then Neek will still be our guest host until then. And Neek is welcome back to the show anytime. She didn't do anything. It was just me being it was me being fast without conversating and running it by Victor and Fatine. So that being said, we leave the doors open for other co-hosts, guest hosts, I should say, to come on the show. But in the meantime, yes, Neek is she's definitely family, and we consider her as one of us. But just until we all can come together.
Neat, don't get out. Veronica owes you a dinner, so we all can get together. But Veronica owes you a dinner, so
And I have no problem with that whatsoever.
She is fine. It was okay.
Okay, so got that out the way and off my chest. How was everyone's weekend?
Fabulous on my end.
It was relaxing. Relaxing.
Relaxing for you, Victor.
It was cool. It was cool.
Well, since y'all ask,
congratulations first to you for your not certificate but certification as a trainer. Give her some bells there. Give her some love.
Yeah.
There you go. You think I'm gonna let her say that without giving it? Yes, Veronica.
Thank you so much. I felt like I've been shut down in the books for quite some time now. It was very intense, but I did get it done. I felt like I've been studying to become a doctor, and that's what I've been telling people. Like it's so deep, like knowing the parts of the body, the bones, the muscles, and all that stuff. Like it was a very intense exam, the study itself. But I thank God that I made it through, and yes, I am now a certified personal trainer. So thank you guys, and thank you to all of you who sent your congratulations to me. I really appreciate it. It means a lot to me to have so many people behind me and that support me. So thank you.
What does that mean, real quick? When you're a certified trainer, what does that mean?
That means that I get to train people one-on-one.
Okay.
I can do it as a group, but I can train people on a one-on-one level. I've been doing a lot of group fitness, but like I said, now it can be like a one-on-one. Well, I can take it as far as I can as I want to with this certification. So thank you, Victor.
Congratulations.
Thank you so much. Thank you, Tarsha. Thank you, Jacqueline. Thank you, Audra. Thank y'all so much. Thank you, Miss Rainey. Thank you to everyone out there. I feel great.
I see you got a whole bunch of little head people telling you congratulations.
Little head. Those are my peeps. Thank y'all so much. I appreciate it. It feels awesome. It really does. So I have other trainers that's in my life who I can go to and ask questions when I need to. So that's a blessing as well. So shouts out to all of them, and they know who they are. All right. Right.
She knew exactly what I was talking about too.
All right. So let's get into the show, shall we? Our hearts and minds are clear.
Oh yeah.
So I posted a video, and it has got tremendous feedback on our Tangy Tea page, talking about memories when it comes to exes, and the memories that we have can sometimes be really good memories. Sometimes that we have can be really bad memories, and memories that can have our minds playing games on us, whether we want to go back to our ex or whether we want to flatten a tire of our ex or whatever the case may be. But our minds are so powerful and they can play so many tricks on us. We have to be careful because it could be, as the guy said in the video, it could be the enemy trying to lead us in that wrong direction of going back to something that we shouldn't have been in from the start. So I sent the video to Victor and Fatine earlier, but you guys probably had already saw that on my page, because I think I posted on our page. I think I posted a few days ago on the T page, and like I said, I think it have over like maybe a lot of share. A lot of people been sharing. A lot of people been hearting it and liking it and all that stuff. Over thousands of people. So we want to talk about that tonight. Thank you, Jason. We want to talk about that tonight. And
you didn't tag anybody.
Oh shoot. Wait, I'm sorry. Thank you, Victor. And I got it right here in front of my face waiting for me to hit send. But
so it's got 3,600 shares and 174 comments.
Wow. So yes, it was a really good one. So Fatine, I think you studied on it a little bit today. So if you want to kick things off for more detail.
So thank you, Veronica. So when you sent it to me, I didn't see it on the Tangy T page because it's been a real busy weekend. So yesterday I was kind of recuperating. So when you sent it to me, I was driving today. So I honestly took some time and went in the mall and played it. And then I read some of the comments. I came home and I said I could paraphrase this. And then I said, if I paraphrase this, I think people may lose the meaning of this. So I decided to transcribe it, and it's not long as I thought it would be. So I'm going to read what the brother said in the video, so everyone hears exactly what he says. Is not for teen interpretation of what he said. So it starts off like this. Okay. I want to say this so I can save some people. Whatever it was, if you really realize where the pain comes from, it comes from the memories that was made. And let me tell you guys something. Your memories are expensive. When you're trying to establish some of these meaningful relationships and you're really trying to really create meaningful memories, remember these memories are expensive. Don't be investing meaningful memories into a relationship that you know that God has not put in seal of approval on. And it's very vital. It's in memories where some of the real bondage is. That's how he said it. You'll start to realize that you're tied to the memory of the person rather than the person. You start to miss someone that you know is not good for you, or you know that God really never called to walk alongside of you. See, you may not miss the person. I can go as far as saying you may not even be in love with that person. You may be in love with what you want it to be, what you thought it could have been, or the memory that was made, as in there was something you felt in that moment that's deep down in your brain subconscious is just trying to recreate. And you think the only way to recreate that feeling is to go back to that person. Very dangerous trap of the enemy. Don't be ignorant of the enemy's schemes or his devices. You don't want to fall into the snare of the enemy. The Bible says you are running your race so well. Who among you has hindered you? And that's the whole video. That's from the start to the end, as he stated it, and I transcribed it and I went over it to make sure I said it the exactly way. Anything that I thought he made a mistake, I did not correct it. I said it the way he said it. So what I noticed that a lot of the people that made comments was in favorable of his statements. And in the beginning, as I look back at it, it's interesting that, I've talked about this before, is that we do create grooves of memory, through, if anybody has ever did meditation or understand the ego, we create memories through life. And in relationships, we do create these memories. I think to drill deep down, even though some of the people, most of the people that I read their comments agreed and learned from this, and I agree on some of that. There's some parts that there are memories that you can learn from, you know, where you was in a relationship and you may have fell short. You see what I'm saying? You may have fell short, and the person that you was with, that you may have broken up with, may have left you good memories that you can grow from. So yes, you can learn from these memories, but how you utilize them is how I think you will grow. And I'll turn it over to you, Veronica, and how you want to pass it around to the team. You're muted, Veronica. You're muted. You're muted.
I like the way Victor did it. Like, you're slow.
Ears.
Yeah, no. So I did want to read one of the comments that came through on that. And he says, people who know they have done wrong to someone in past relationships are the ones who remember how good they were treated by that person from the past. But the people who were treated wrong have no desire to return to or be in a relationship where they were secretly hated. The foolish became wise, wise became foolish in the change of pathways. Someone else said, I felt that and I know that. Please pray for the good memories to fade and the bad memories to stand out. And that one stood out to me as well, because meaning you think you want to get over that person, so you want to think about the bad memories so that you can get past of all the good memories that trying to come back to your mind. Because like I said, the mind is a powerful thing, and when we start thinking about, you know, exes and past relationships, you know, we do tend to sometimes think about, you know, the good things, and then it's like, oh well, maybe I should have stayed a little longer, or maybe I should have done this, or maybe I should have done that. But at the same time, like, how you think about all the times that this person hurted you, and like the man said in the video, you know, the enemy is out there, and it could be the enemy trying to drive us back to something that was never meant to be. And we get caught up a lot of times in on what if. You know, I feel like if it was I feel like if it was meant to be, we would still be with who we were supposed to be with, if that makes sense. I know people love to say that we should give people, you know, second chances, but what if you give someone chance after chance after chance after chance and they still don't get it right? Like, how many times do you supposed to continue on giving them a chance? Victor, Neek, I'll let y'all jump in here and see how y'all feel about it.
Go ahead, Nick. I'll go last.
I was gonna let Victor go, but I agree kind of with the message. I feel it goes into making somebody feel special. Feeling special is a drug that many people don't talk about. Once somebody makes you feel special, it like releases some type of drug in your brain and puts you like, makes you feel like you're on top of the world. It's like, I think I read a passage one time that said, making someone feel special is like trying crack for, well, it's like them trying crack for the first time. Like they have the best high. So once you make them feel special, they're going to forever chase that particular feeling. So even once you hurt them, they're still going to chase that feeling, that memory of how that once felt when you made them feel special.
Mm-hmm.
That's really all I have to say in regards to that passage. But yeah, it was kind of short.
Me personally, I didn't like the video. Not a bit. To me, he was playing on people's emotions. Anytime you throw God, relationship, love, all in one sentence, people just gonna go along with it. I feel like no one knows the inner workings of your relationship. So the memories and why we're together is the reason why we are together. So when society looks at a relationship and they say, well, why y'all together? This person does this, this, and this. Well, you don't know what I see. So this is why I'm holding on to this person, because I see the good. I see things that the world ain't seen. So just because you think that our relationship is not wholesome doesn't mean that it's not. You know, monogamy is not in everybody's relationship. You know what I'm saying? Finances is not in everybody's relationship. I mean, a relationship you're supposed to grow together. And I get that. But I think he played on a lot of people's emotions in the video because of the setting and the lighting. He gave me a lot of Derrick Jackson vibes. So I was completely just like, whatever. So when y'all said that y'all was going to discuss it, I guess I watched the whole video, but I didn't, I'm not saying he's lying, because he's not, but that's just not my thing, just to listen to that. That was just not my thing.
So I think that sometime, I'm not commenting off of what Victor said. I'm just reevaluating some other things with this video. Is that delusion is a mother. I mean, when we look at ourselves in a relationship, sometimes we delude ourselves of not looking at ourselves in the mirror, but just looking at the wrong of the other person, or just looking at the other person. It doesn't always have to be wrong, but we tend to look at the other person and lying to ourselves because we never look at ourselves. That's one thing. Number two, I think we are creatures of our environment. And what I mean we are creatures of our environment is that we limit our scope. And I noticed that, and I'm not no sociologist, so I can't break that part down why we do this. But I just think that when you meet people that travel the world, they seem to experience more. That don't mean they're more knowledgeable than you, but their experience is just different. And I just think that sometimes we just limit ourselves to the people that's in our environment, and we look for those pickings. Sometimes you will not find that. I hate to deal with that cliche word of soulmate, because a lot of us don't meet our soulmate, but we meet someone that we really can have a really good, loving, and wholesome relationship. But sometimes our pickings are small because we stay in the same town, we stay in the same city. You understand? You don't move, you don't grow. So that's your pickings. You understand? And I got it. I understand. That's why I say we are creatures of our environment. But I'll be honest with you. If we are creatures of our environment, then we are subject to the limitations of our environment. If you're looking for something and you can't find it in your environment, and you are doing good, like Victor said, you don't want to judge yourself, but put it like this: people that are trying to live a righteous life and be a good person, and you having a small pickings and there's nothing, you basically don't have a lot wrong with you, then I just think that we got to open up our minds, because I think this guy's talking to people, not people that are having good relationships, but people that are having bad relationships and continue to have bad relationships and don't seem to be able to get out of that web.
Mm-hmm.
See, I'm gonna have to disagree, because I believe you can meet your soulmate, but I think people don't realize that just because it's a soulmate don't mean it's just one person. I think you don't have to be intimate with your soulmate. I think that's a misconstrued, in my opinion, when it comes to that. And you talking about slim pickings, I feel like that person's gonna come to you. If this meant to be. And with the whole God and your relationship thing, I really want to touch on that, because God blesses the believers and the non-believers. So God is going to, if you believe, it's going to be in your relationship. And if you don't believe, I believe he's going to be in your relationship at some point in time, because he blesses everybody. And that's my belief. I just feel like, traveling and doing all this other shit, I'm not going to meet. I mean, that give me a better chance to meet my soulmate. This is my soulmate, or this person's supposed to be in my life. It's going to happen. I do believe in fate. I do believe in that. My soulmate might not come to my life until I'm 51 years old. And you cannot rush that, because I feel like I might not have been ready, or she might not have been ready. But I look at things completely different. I don't think that when you turn 21 and you start being out there, you meet that one person. Some people's lives just don't fall like that. It's
Right.
a storybook, but I just feel like it just don't happen that way.
I just want to say one thing to Victor. So we'll have to agree to disagree. I don't, but because God says that I gave you will to choose between this and that. You make your own decisions. You make your own bed to lie in. You deal with your own karma. So I don't believe in that destiny is definitely that if God is going to bless you with your soulmate. I don't believe that. I believe that at the end of the day, you have choices just like everybody else has choices. I don't believe in destiny. If destiny was in place, then God, then there's no use for will, because everything would be destined for us to be finalized. That's just my opinion. It's more of a debatable thing. I'm just saying that's why me and Victor is going to have to agree to disagree, because I do not believe that there's some blueprint by God that this is your destiny. He's given you will to choose between this and that, good and evil. Same thing with Adam and Eve, apple, not this, all that. And I just don't believe that your destiny is that you don't have to do the work because God is just going to give you everything that you deserve. I don't believe that.
Well, I mean,
Yeah,
you-
he can still put it in front of you. It's just your free will whether you're going to walk away
Exactly.
from it or not.
Candy.
Regardless of if you go out of town or you stay in town, like if you're going to meet whoever you're going to end up with, your soulmate, you're going to meet them anywhere. It doesn't matter if you travel or not. Like you're going to meet them. You're going to have some type of connection with them, whether it's online, whether it's down the road. I do agree with you that we are creatures that, with our environment, but I think it's a little bit more of kind of our type. That kind of goes into your type. The type of person that you like is environmental based. If you grew up in urban, more hoodish environment, that may be the type of women or men that you like. Regardless if you move to New York or Montana or Idaho, that's what you're going to like because that's what you're used to. That's what you were raised around. And we look at what's familiar. We like familiar. Familiar makes us feel warm inside for some reason. So that's more as in your type. It kind of develops your type. If you're more suburban, that's, you're going to move in. That's the type of individuals you're going to like.
So let's get to some of these comments that was coming. Tyrone says, I think too much credit is given to the enemy. He says sometimes.
What does he mean by that?
Because in the video, we were saying that the guy said, and I also said that sometimes we listen at the enemy. The enemy could be, the enemy could be telling us to go in this direction when we shouldn't be going in that direction, because let's talk about relationships. You already been hurt multiple times in that relationship, but the enemy is playing with your mind, telling you, well, you did this with that person, you did that, you had this with that person, just go on back, when that wasn't even meant for you to be there from the beginning. But you want to listen at the enemy telling you to go back, and you go back just to get hurt again.
Could you talk about the enemy? Because Victor just said, just to explain a little bit more, Victor, I think the enemy, and let's just deal with the enemy and the friend that's within us, because we always have that whisperer, do this, don't do that. You understand what I'm saying? You see it on the cartoons, you got the angel and the angel and the devil, but it's honestly within us, because there's certain things that I know that I've had a vice to. And it's times when my mind is saying, it's not like an outside source, it's in my head saying, well, you could do this one time, it ain't gonna hurt. But then on the other end, it's saying to myself, if you do that, what's gonna happen, better than that. So when you talk about, and when Victor put out that enemy and what you just said, Veronica, just to add to that, it's honestly what the brother said. It goes in your subconscious. It's your conscious and your subconscious mind talking to you, and your subconscious, sometimes you don't have control of your subconscious of some of those thoughts. Go ahead, Victor. I'm sorry I cut you
I
off.
feel like the enemy deserves all the credit. That's what you call life lessons. Um, people want to. I like what John said. When you strip yourself naked and you look at the entire body of work, a lot of times we cause ourselves a lot of heartache and stress by the actions we did.
Mhm.
So looking at a relationship and you're sitting back here and you blaming this other person for everything, then why haven't all your other relationships succeeded as well? But at the same time, what do you call a successful relationship? Because everybody doesn't think a successful relationship is 10, 15 years or 20 years. If I can get something out of that relationship, whether it's tangible or not, to me, it was a success. We all look at success as different. Marriage is not everybody's goal, and we need to understand that. Going into anything, if we came in this thing together and you got something out of it and I got something out of it and we ended it, that's a success in my book.
I mean, it depends on those two people. If they,
That's the only two people
yeah.
that it depends on.
And you know, Tyrone said something else about sometimes people in relationships, sometimes people in relationships to please friends and families. Sometimes people go into relationships to please friends and families as well, not only ending. And that's a mistake that we make a lot of times. And I've said this plenty of times on the show, like we get into things just because of what we're worrying about, what the outside people are going to say and what the outside people are thinking about us and the choices that we're making in life. When it comes to relationship, when it comes to jobs, when it comes to whatever, we tend to worry about outside people more than what is going to make ourselves happy.
What's wrong with that?
Because
A
it's
lot.
not making you happy.
A lot.
Yeah,
is
why not
a
make
lot.
yourself happy instead of making these
Well,
outside people
Yeah.
happy?
I wouldn't make so much as like it ending. I would say stay. A lot of people do stay in relationships for friends and family, but when it comes into so much as ending a relationship, if your friends and family want you to end it, more likely it's kind of toxic to you. I'm sorry, like I have gnats. For some reason, it may be toxic to you in some shape or form, where it's messing up your job, messing up your health, messing up your kids, messing up your well-being, in some shape or form. So I can't always say like if I want a friend or a family member to end their relationship, it's not always, you know, because like I'm jealous or something of that sort. Sometimes they need to part ways, and it's kind of damaging them not to part ways.
Mhm.
So if
So
we
Vic,
judging,
okay.
so if we judging marriage as a success, look at the success rate of arranged marriages, because those marriages you have no say so in that. So I mean, whether if you say marriage is a success, I can throw out the arranged marriages, and whether you happy or not, you pleasing your family, they get the dowry or whatever, and everybody's cool. But you and maybe that person over there. But if you're not judging marriage as a success, then we can go another route with it.
So I'm trying not to debate Victor tonight, but I just don't understand when you ask that question, because it comes down to your happiness. It's your happiness with your partner. I don't give a damn who on the outside. My moms, my pops. They live their life. They're not concerned about their parents. They ain't concerned about me. They made their decision to be happy amongst themselves. If they're not happy and their sisters and cousins are saying, yo, y'all need to stay together for the kids, and they're miserable, I'm not doing that. And I don't expect nobody else to do that. Why would we stay together if you're not happy because other people want you to stay together?
Yeah.
It don't make sense to me.
If you are religious and you live by that really good book, then guess what? Oh, you don't want to guess?
No, I hear what you're saying, but
if
so
you
for
live by
those
that good
people
book,
are like that, then don't complain. Those folks, don't complain about your husband. No, don't complain about your wife, because you live your life
But
by the
you're
good
not
book. So
happy.
you take the good with the bad.
But what
If
I'm
you're not
saying
happy, it
is,
doesn't matter, because you're living by the good book.
we're gonna. You said what?
You're living by the good book. So if you're really religious, don't complain. Because if you complain, then the bottom line, why complain if you knew that when you said I do, that's what it was going to be? You're going to take the good and the bad, and there's nothing you can do about that.
But the guy in the video, he threw in God, he threw in all this other stuff. So I'm taking it as if this is what we're going to live by. And if we live by exactly whether it's this Old or New Testament, it's going to be a lot of people unhappy in that relationship.
So Victor, that's a good point. So this is where I'll start challenging people on religion. When I start, not your religion, when I say that some people that are very religious, why do we put these adjectives there? There's people that believe in God and got married and believe in the good book, but they also divorce. So the people that believe in the good book and don't get a divorce, they're more religious than the people that believe in God and got married in the eyes of God, decide, look, this is not compatible for us. It's not happy. And we want to move on with our life. And we decide to get a divorce. Who's more religious? Who makes that decision? Who's the judge? Are we judging people, or is God judging people?
You already know. You'll never know that answer until you close your eyes for the last time.
Exactly. That's why some people are getting a divorce that are very religious. And
I mean,
some are not.
If they get a divorce, they won't know if it's right or wrong until they close their eyes for the last time.
I know when it's right or wrong.
I will, and I'm not really sure because I've read the Bible, but if I'm not mistaken, there is a section in the Bible where it does state that one can get a divorce.
Oh, you can get a divorce. Yes, you can.
My pastor spoke on that. May he rest in peace. But yeah, I don't know why people think that just because you're married that you have to stay in it because of the vows that you took. Yes, everybody that go and make those vows, of course, they're not going in it thinking that it's going to end in a divorce. But how much are you going to sit there and take from someone? Are you going to just stay in a marriage just because you said I do? Just because those vows said before better or for worse? No, I feel like if you're gonna play me over and over and over and over again, it's time for me to do what I got to do.
Our parents did it.
Our
grandparents did it.
Don't matter. That doesn't mean they were right.
Our grandparents did it because they had no choice, really.
Exactly. It is 2023. Ain't nobody getting ready to stay in no mess, Victor, just because of. I mean, God forgive me.
So why celebrate 50-year marriages then? 40-year marriages, 30. Well, that shouldn't be celebrated then.
Why? Yep. If they're happy, that's up to them. I'm talking.
Some of them are happy. Go ahead.
But why argue? But why argue over something that's not even in the daggone Bible? Marriage vows are not. I will repeat. You want to dispute me? Find it. The marriage vows are not in the Bible. That's why I keep saying a lot of times we're following man-made word versus what's in the Bible. Marriage vows are not in the Bible. So let's stop standing on something that's nothing to stand on there. Marriage vows are not in the Bible. They're not.
So getting married is in the Bible, but vows are what you are promising to the other person.
But they're not. Right. That's a man-made promise to another individual. That is not God's words. Remember that. That's not God's words. So stop saying that marriage is this holy thing from the perspective of those vows and saying I'm respecting those vows like they're standing on something concrete. Those vows were man-made.
And yeah, I mean, I can only speak from Veronica experience. Enough is enough. I mean, I prefer to live my life happy than to sit around and just be depressed all the flipping time. Got out of that. And so to each his own who stays in it for one reason or another. Go ahead.
Let's back up for a second. So when you come together as one, and like I said, I've never been married, but I feel like not about the subject of marriage, but I think I know where I'm going with this. When you make a promise in front of the Almighty and you saying, God, I promise to do this for this person and to this person and honor, love, and be committed to this person till death.
Yeah.
You made this promise to him. This is a promise that you're making to him.
And you know what God say? Don't be an idiot.
Wait. You don't know what he said.
Don't be an
I'm
idiot.
not going there. I don't know what he said.
Well,
he
I'm
spoke to me
saying
about that.
I wasn't going to be an idiot.
Don't take it personal. Just let me
Go ahead.
So what I'm saying is when you standing there and you take this thing and you're doing this and you make this promise to him.
Yeah.
That right there is the promise you made to him. So if you break that promise, then that's a promise that you told him that you wouldn't do.
So and why does that promise?
And what about
that promise stand out?
What about the 10 commandments that people break?
Yeah, right. Why does that promise stand out that all these other promises? You say, God, I won't do this no more. God, I won't cheat no more. Why does that promise stand out more than
sin is a sin?
Exactly.
Yeah, promises change as like when situations change.
Wait a minute.
You hurt me, now my feelings have changed.
Right.
So me promising you is not the same as me promising him. That is not the same.
Well, I just said when you make other promises to God, why does the vow stand out? Why does vow stand out more
Thank you,
than
Mr. Sandy.
other
You can always
promises?
Repent. That's why God, we can repent.
And I'm gonna tell you this: if you could always ask for forgiveness, then what's the point of even going? What's the point of doing anything?
And Mr. Sammy,
I might be able to.
Because God is a forgiving God, Victor. What are you talking about?
Yeah, but Victor is correct because.
What do you mean? What I'm talking about?
Victor is correct. You cannot continue to repent on the same mistake over and over and over. God will not forgive you like that.
Day.
Don't say we. Don't say we.
We sin every single day.
According to the Bible, Jesus died for our sins. Like, did that stop at that particular time?
Right.
The Baptist
or did like, all of us, we're forgiven because he died on the cross.
Let me get to some pastors that's on here because I have two.
What is the pastor going to tell me about my life?
They
don't know more
Victor,
about
you're judging. It seems like you're judging. So I'm just saying, let's bring some pastors on here that know. I know they know. I know that, and I'm talking about me. When I was saying about me, I was talking about Veronica and what Veronica been through. So Tasha says, God never intended for us to stay someplace where we are being beaten, abused, etc.
So to that,
I mean, like,
what people gonna say is
in the Bible.
What happened to the 400 and something years of slavery?
Is in the Bible.
So those people were slaves and being beaten and abused. Come on, man.
A lot of those people didn't have choices, Victor. We have choices in 2023. We have way more choices. These women that you're talking about in the 50s and 60s or 40s or whatever, they didn't have a choice.
Yes, they did.
They couldn't make it. They couldn't make it on their own.
Yes, they did. It's called a consequence. You can make a choice. You just didn't want to deal with the consequence of the choice. We all have free will, and Fatim just said that. You have free will.
I don't care what Fatim said. We back then.
But a lot of women back in the days in the 50s and 60s, a woman couldn't get a bank account until like the 1960s.
Didn't have a savings account.
So any money she made, she had to give to her husband.
Those are man-made rules. Man-made rules.
Most Black women always had to work. So the whole like women couldn't work was like, but we were limited to cleaning people's houses, raising other people's children, and all of that, like making pennies and dimes.
Having babies.
Having babies we had to take care of. So we're not looking just from us being taken care of, but us and our kids being taken care of. So of course they stayed in those unhappy marriages just so they can be taken care of.
Right.
The whole thing from a very young age, women were breathed like, hey, listen, you have to get married. You have to find a man with money who can provide for you, take care of you, have children. They're gonna sit here and not put you in a nursing home and take care of you when you get sick. And the tradition is on and on and on.
That was a choice.
Yeah.
That was a choice.
Yeah. So
you didn't have to do that because Condoleezza Rice was born during that time, and she didn't do that.
Right.
And she was
So-
very successful and powerful. So I mean, like I said, we can what if all day.
Yeah.
And I get where you're coming from. I'm just saying, I got my place where I stand, and I understand where y'all stand at. We just ain't standing in the same spot.
And that's
And
why
it's
I
okay.
said, and that's why I've learned through, and me and Victor have had these conversations numerous times, because before we would go toe to toe, but I have to respect. But I'm responding to,
Right.
excuse me, Mr. Sammy and slightly Victor. Hebrews 10, verse 26 through 27. You're talking about, and Veronica, about this repeating a sin. Because this is what made me start studying religion. When somebody came to my room in college and said, you can just repent. And I said, what happens if you continue to make the same sin over and over? They said, you must repent. That sounded logical, but I went out and studied. It says in Hebrews 10/26 to 27, for if we go on sinning deliberately after receiving the knowledge of the truth, there no longer remains a sacrifice for sins, but a fearful expectation of judgment and a fury of fire that will consume the adversary. So you cannot repent on something you know what you did is wrong, and then continue to over and over do that, commit that sin over and over, and then think you can repent from it and be forgiven. That's what the good book says.
So okay,
That's what he
you're not supposed to have sex before you're married, right? And I know y'all constantly having sex.
Who is y'all?
So do
So
y'all?
we pointing fingers now?
So do
Is that
y'all?
what we doing?
So do y'all ask for forgiveness every
Wait a
time y'all
minute.
have sex?
I've
I just
never
wanna know if
asked
you
for.
making this personal.
I'm not making. I'm asking a question.
Okay.
We talking about sex.
I
We
answer
talking
your
I
about.
just need to know first.
We
I
talking
She
about.
said y'all have lots of sex.
I'll answer your question, Veronica.
Okay.
So,
I'm not making a person. I'm just
I-
asking. A sin is a sin. So I'm asking about sex right now.
okay,
If
so
y'all constantly having sex.
Who is constantly having sex?
She's just being in general.
She
I-
said,
If
y'all.
somebody is
Thank you.
constantly
Who
having
y'all
sex,
is?
In general, y'all,
Yeah.
the panel, the people in the comments, everybody.
well,
Do y'all
Veronica,
ask
I'm
for
trying to
sex?
answer your
I mean, do y'all-
question because I'm not running. I'm gonna
Do
answer
you
it.
ask for forgiveness every time you have sex?
Can I answer the daggone question? You
Go
don't need to keep asking. I understand.
Go ahead. I want to make sure everybody hear me.
So before I took my baptism, once I took my baptism, then my sins are forgiven. Since then, if I've had sex as you mentioned it, no, I don't ask for forgiveness. Because if that's a sin, no, I don't ask for that being forgiven if that's something that I commit over and over. If that is something. But once I've taken my baptism, after that, when I came to that point of because it says, Jesus even said, you got to go. Jesus said, you got to go through me to get to my Father, and you must be baptized. That's Jesus' word. You must be baptized. That's why he was baptized at the end of the day.
Yeah.
So at the end of the day, once you take that baptism and wipe all those sins away, and then do that, no, I don't ask for those things. You pray and you can ask for forgiveness. You can ask for it, but that's on you now. And it's up to, like Victor said, until we close our eyes, we don't know if we will ever be forgiven for that. We don't know.
Well, I really don't know how we even got on religion from the beginning.
Because the guys mentioned God in here.
None of us is can't quote the Bible word from word. I know. Let me speak for myself.
Yeah.
There you go.
I can't quote the Bible.
I
word
can't
for
either.
word. So
I know the Bible pretty good.
I know I sin. And yes, I do repent.
Right. And you have that right to do.
Since you like putting up
but I just read you what the Bible said, that if
I
you
put
know
up all
what's
comments
better,
once I get to them.
Right. You
And
can
when I
repent.
forgive them,
Yeah, you can repent, but I just read you the Bible that it states that if you continue to repent you could continue to commit the same sin over and over and repent on that over and over, then you're not going to be forgiven. That's in the Bible.
There you go.
So let's go back to the comment
that means people
there.
shouldn't. Does that mean people shouldn't get divorced? In the Bible, Mr. Sammy, it does state what grounds that you can get a divorce. There are grounds there in the Bible. I'm telling you, yes, there are grounds.
But Jesus says you didn't make that promise to God. You made that promise to man before God. In front of people in a church, courthouse, or any other place.
So to Patricia, who I make that promise to you don't know. When I make a promise and I say it's to God, then that's exactly who it's to. You know, I can say it in front of this person. We all pray and we ask for forgiveness every day. And we also make promises to him. I promise to do this, promise to do that. Whether I'm saying it out loud or not. But if you want to sit here and dispute me about something like that, no one can dispute me about me. It's impossible. And I think it's crazy for somebody to try to do that. But I get what you're saying. But whoever y'all made y'all promises to is who you made it to. There's a reason why I haven't walked down that aisle yet, because I wasn't.
Well, I'm gonna tell you, I walked down the aisle again, and if I have to go through hell again, or abusive marriage, or whatever, I'll do it again. It's not like I go into a marriage looking to get a divorce. I don't think anyone go into a marriage saying, well, you know what, I might want to prepare for this just in case I
would always tell people, prepare for the worst.
get divorced.
You never know.
I don't go into things preparing for the worst. I'm always looking for the best out of anything that I do. Anything, whether it's a relationship, a job, whatever it is, I'm always going in looking for the best to come out of it. I'm never going in thinking negative.
You're supposed to, look for the best, but realistically, anything can come out of it. And you have to be prepared for whatever comes at you.
Yeah, you're prepared. What I'm saying, Nick, is you don't go in saying, well, if this divorce happened, I think I'm going to ask for this from the Lord. I'm going to do this. If you're going in thinking that something bad is going to happen within that relationship or that marriage, why?
Because people still change every day.
Yeah, people change every day. But I'm thinking, why not go into something with a positive attitude?
I mean, you can still go into it with a positive attitude. Just because I asked for this, and a prenup doesn't mean I don't love you. I just want to make sure if you ever change your mind, I'm not in a bad position. Because there are a lot of people who get married and they love this person so much, and then all of a sudden they're in a bad predicament because of this person. So I get what you're saying. Like, you don't want to prepare you don't want to go into it with a negative mindset. But I don't look at it as a negative mindset. I look at it as, just in case you change your mind or I change my mind, we can agree to go our separate ways with no issues.
Mm-hmm.
Because it can get bad.
No one is perfect.
Who said anybody was perfect?
I think they're just making.
I guess you're just making the comment, Victor. You talking about getting personal. I think you're taking this a little personal.
I'm not taking it personal, but when someone makes a lot of times when I see a comment, it's pretty much to someone's a response to what someone said. I'm not taking anything personal.
Well, I'm taking it that she's taking it from everything that all of us are saying, and she's saying that no one is perfect but the Almighty.
As we should know that.
Yeah, I just was researching it. So to answer Mr. Sammy, the only thing that I can find out in the Bible about divorce is sexual immortality. So that right there is the only reason that I've come across that sexual immortality.
So far.
I mean, every verse that I've checked from the Old to the New Testament so far.
I mean, that's in the New Testament. Not commit adultery.
But isn't the New Testament
supersedes?
No, Jesus said, "What? Yeah, why?" One day I want somebody to prove that. That's why I bring on the pastor, because Jesus said, I did not come to change the laws, but fulfill the laws. And who brought the laws was Moses. Moses brought the laws.
Okay, can we move past this?
Oh, okay. I love this stuff.
I don't like getting all in this religious stuff, because one, I'm not a religious. I mean, I believe in God, but when I speak on stuff, I like to know what I'm really talking about. I don't know the Bible like that. I mean, I can let y'all go back and forth and talk about the Bible all night, but I don't know the Bible like that. So if y'all want to continue this conversation, then it's going to be without me because I can't speak on it like that.
All right. So anyway, so let's get back to the point about this the conscious. I mean, when you in a relationship and you break up, a lot of us can't move on. That's another thing. We remember I mentioned that I tend to see more women on social media complaining about men because they've been hurt, and I don't see as many men that also have been hurt complaining about women. I don't see as an equal balance out there. And is it some of the truth that this brother says that we're still caught up in what it would be? That's how I looked at this conversation. What he was saying is that you broke up from a person, but it seems like you basically can't move on because you still think about the person and you not realize that you're still kind of caught up into the person. But if the person wasn't for you, you got to let that go. You got to grow and learn from that at the end of the day, and don't let that anchor be a ball and chain on your leg from moving on with living life and hopefully finding someone to have a happy relationship. That's what I got from what he said.
So how do
With
you know
that,
this?
I think. Go ahead.
Go ahead.
What I was gonna say with that, I think people have a hard time letting go of the potential of what they feel like that person could be.
That's what he said. Yes, that's what he said. That you hold on to what it could be instead of looking at it for what the reality of it is and not caught up because it's in the past. It could have been, but it isn't. So why are you stuck on what it could have been? That's over with now. You got to be able to move on.
I think, to be honest with you, if you're going back and you remember in the past or something, there's still a connection there. Maybe it's a soulmate. I don't know. However people do it. I've done it before. Sat back and thought about, spinning the block again. And I've done it, once or twice. But at the end of the day, I don't know if that person was for me until I close my eyes for the last time. And then I find out exactly what was supposed to happen. I really feel that way. I really feel like, and this is just my opinion. We out here doing our thing, free will, and you got obstacles that come up and you try to get yourself over these obstacles. And for the end day, you can rest and relax in the beautiful, heaven pearly gates. But I also think, and this is just me, I also think that he puts people in our lives for a reason. They might not be forever or eternal. Mm-hmm. But some people are just there for a season. I hate to be cliche-ish, but
that's the poem, bro. But that's real for a moment.
But I mean, going back and you holding on, I don't know, man.
Well, I think sometimes whenever you get with someone, because sometimes we want people so bad, like we kind of tolerate the BS when it's not time for y'all to be together yet. And when I say that is like, I do know people who have dated for a short period of time, broke up, and then down the line got back together, and I was beautiful. Mm-hmm. So I don't mind when people, spin the block, go back, give it another go. I just think sometimes I put it like this. Whenever you break up with somebody, instead of looking at them, and I think Fatim said this, look at yourself. Mm-hmm. Look at yourself. See what you did wrong. Take some accountability of what you took for granted.
I don't feel like it's definitely not always that one person's fault. Like, I can honestly say in my past relationship, I know things that I've done, so I can't say that it's been 100% on him. I'm not going to say that. We have to take accountability for our own actions, but yeah, go ahead, Nick. I ain't meant to cut you off.
Oh, no, you good, because I was done. I was trying to, it's in my brain and it's not coming out. Yeah.
Yeah.
But I'll just use myself as an example because I'm transparent. I just transparent. Even though my wife passed, a lot of folks know, especially here. I mean, Neek may not know as much, but Veronica and Victor know that I've been down here for a year and a half. We separated. We separated in that particular time, and it was a moment where I'm trying to heal, and she's bitter and hurt. And from my perspective, I felt that by her pushing that over on me, it was bringing me down. But I had to take a look at it and say, well, what about what she was feeling? How did she feel? How did she feel? And how she felt? Did she have a right to lurch out or vent or whatever? Even though I may not have felt it was right, and some stuff went public or whatever, but I was not in her shoes. So at the end of the day, I'm glad that, like I've always said, as I've grown, that we were in a better place, not the best place, but I had to look at myself, and the only thing I can control was me. But I took the time to try to understand. There was times when I did get upset when I would see or read things or whatever, but then I tried to understand what she was going through. And then when we conversed and she said some of the things that she said, I got a better understanding, and you try to move forward. But I couldn't get caught up. Now, there was a lot of good experiences, and towards the end, they were bad. But I try not to get caught up in the bad. I learn and enjoy the good, and try to be the better person, and don't let that be an anchor. Unfortunately, Victor, Veronica, and Neek, sometimes you don't bring closure to that. And this is what this brother is also saying. Sometimes we don't bring closure to those past relationships, which damage us moving forward into new relationships.
Well, what closure you need?
Sometimes you need closure because you're still holding on to the point. Let's just say you did some things wrong, and you pining over it. You putting more pressure on yourself. Only thing you could do is learn from those mistakes, be sorry for them, repent from them, but move on from them. Because if you get caught up and say, woe is me, and I shouldn't have done it, but it's already done, and then you apologize for it, and you can't move on, then you're stuck. And that's what I mean. Or if you've been hurt, and then you've been hurt not by just that last relationship, but a couple of relationships, we tend to judge other people coming into our life because of our past pain. And that's what I think this brother was saying, is that you can't get stuck there, because if you do get stuck, then how do you move on also into a more healthy and positive relationship?
Mr. Sammy says, and that was a great point for Teen. Sammy says every relationship isn't meant to last long term.
Facts.
Yes.
Facts. I love what Tarsha said. Tarsha, I 1,000% agree with you. Relationships, marriages are work, and they sometimes work out and sometimes they don't, for whatever reason. Some people just realize they want different things and they separate, and there's nothing wrong with that.
Yeah,
But
you grow.
y'all say the good book say that you're supposed to stay in.
Who is y'all?
Victor said that.
I said that.
Okay,
Victor said that.
I said that. I agree.
Okay, well, Victor, since you're being sensitive tonight, Victor said that you have to. Victor says that you have to be.
Wait a minute.
That you should get a divorce.
Wait a minute. Because Victor is not being sensitive.
Sensitive today.
That is you.
No,
clearly
you. But go ahead, Victor.
How is it clearly me? How?
Oh, God.
Because I said y'all every show, but now I say y'all tonight. You want me to call your name?
Because I'm the only one that said that.
Okay, well, Victor said that you have to stay in it.
I want to ask Tarsha a question. I heard what she said, and Victor, I do agree with what you said. I'm not going to play on your words, Tarsha, but I just recently said, and maybe I need to stop saying it, but this is what I believe. I think that a relationship is hard work, but do you have to work hard? Because in the bulk of my relationship, yeah, it was hard work, but we didn't work hard to be happy, because it just was a natural bond that we were compatible. We got through things, but it just wasn't where we work hard at it. It's hard work in relationships to deal with ups and downs, but we didn't have to work hard at being happy. We just didn't. And
that's
to
not
me, I don't
true.
think that is a play on words. Sometimes it's hard work, but it's not working hard. If you gotta work hard in a relationship, I just don't know if that's the relationship for you. If
It's
you gotta
not,
continue, I don't think so.
because you're gonna start to resent it, like
Exactly.
people
Right.
resent their job.
Exactly.
Yep. If you
Second
got
Jason.
Sure.
if you got to do all that, yeah, and then it becomes like every day you start like you don't want to pull up to the house. You always dreading something like, oh, I got to go through this. Here I go. When you start feeling that way, something's got to get done.
So let's put Jason comment back up there because we're gonna
Thank
go
you,
here
sir.
now. If
If
you
you
don't
want-
want to honor the vows, don't get married. So Jason, 100% correct on that. But let's talk about the pressure. You've been with this woman since high school. You don't really have an eye on no one else. It's just that you just feel, in your perspective, you're just not ready to marry her. So she wants to get married. Your parents are on you. She gets pregnant. She says, I want you to make me a wife because this is how we move. So the question is, I do agree, if you don't want to honor the vows, then don't get married. Then let the person know that up front. Don't play fiance. Don't play potential husband material if you're not ready to get married. That's the problem that we
Bro, your
all tend to
scenarios
play.
are one-sided as hell, man.
Because what do you mean one-sided? How is it one-sided?
You gave this whole scenario that he had to get married to her.
No,
We
no.
have to get married.
I'm saying the pressures. I said the pressures that other people put on you. But if you're not ready to get married, then why play fiance? Why play husband material? Don't get out there
Well, I
sleeping
mean,
with. Yeah.
well, this is what I'll say to that. No one can pressure you into anything, and no one
They
should
don't
be able to
supposed
pressure you.
But some people
No
are
one should be able
weak-minded.
to pressure you
Supposed
into
to, right.
anything. But
Supposed.
when
In
you
America.
say don't play fiance, if somebody asks somebody to marry them, like, you know, just because I don't want to get married today doesn't mean I'm not going to want to get married 5 years from now. And I mean,
But I hear
that's how
women say,
feel
I'm
about
not going to
marriage.
stay engaged, Neek, for 5 years if you're not going to be married, or if you're not going to marry me. But some men say, I'm not ready to get married.
I know a couple that's been engaged for 10 years.
Right.
So that, like, women talk. They talk to hear themselves. Like, if you love a person, if they're currently not ready for what you're ready for, you have a choice. Either you can stick around and wait it out, or you can leave and go look for something else that's ready for what you're ready for. Simple as that.
How important is marriage then? It really comes down to the individual, but I'm asking everybody on this panel, how important is marriage then? If a couple gets married and ups and downs for 5 years and then they get a divorce, and a couple shack up together and 25 years happily shacking up, what is more important to the individuals?
These scenarios, man. Come on, man.
What do you mean it's the scenarios? What's the problem? Answer the damn question. I'm tired of seeing married people bicker, fight, not happy, and then I'm watching people that get criticized as shacking and not being married and are happy for 20 years. What is wrong with that example?
I'll give my, like,
It's the
my
biblical
take on-
way.
Yeah, my take on marriage. To me, and I know I'm a ruffle feathers when I say this, marriage is just a relationship with a contract.
Okay.
That's it. That's all it is. It's a relationship with a contract. And people feel like once I marry you, like I own you in some shape or form. You're obligated to me in some shape or form. Like you're some type of property. And I think when people are just in a relationship and there's no, like, I can get up and leave at any moment. I don't have to stay here. I don't have to be here. I'm here because I choose to be with you every single day. Like, this is actually a decision I'm making to be here with you. I feel like it tends to last longer because this is a decision you're actually making. A lot of people, when they get married, they're getting married because they don't want to be, sometimes they don't want to be that girl that's been engaged for 10 years, 5 years, 3 years. So they kind of rush into it. They'll date a man for a year and have never seen how he is when he's under stress. never seen how he is when, you know, he's happy. They've only seen, oh, okay, he's spending money, or he, you know, we're having a good time. Like they don't get to see his highs and his lows. They only see one side of him. And then or even he only sees one side of her. So when they get married, now feelings are changing, things are different, people are moving apart, but marriage is hard to get out of. Marriage is way too hard to get out of. So
And
a lot of people
and it
stay
hurts
married.
a man more than it hurts a woman too, to try to get out of it.
Oh man,
I can't argue with that.
Damn right it does. Financially, it does. It tears and rips a man apart.
I can't speak on that because I've never been married and I've never gotten divorced.
You saying it hurts a man?
Well, I'm gonna just
financially
Meek on
or as
her
a whole?
answer. Now go ahead. Now what you say?
Does it? You saying it hurts a man more when you?
Majority of times when divorce comes up, it hurts a man's pocket much more than it does a woman.
So you just speaking on it financially, right?
I'm speaking. It can hurt people emotionally the same.
But why does it hurt the man more financially than a woman?
Because the way the system is set up.
Why was the system set up like that?
Oh, don't ask me.
You know why?
Why?
Because guys were shitting on women back in the day and leaving women with 4, 5, and 6 kids at the house, going to start another family. So what we're doing is we are paying for what our ancestors did. That's why it's so swayed one way now. Because all the bullshit men back in the day did women a whole they screwed them over. So we're paying for it.
Got it. I mean, I hear what you're saying. I mean, it's not fair. I don't give a damn.
It is fair.
No, it ain't fair what our ancestors did that now we still have to suffer if we are a good man and the marriage doesn't work.
You believe
and I happen to make 20,000 more.
But even now, you're looking at it in a financial standpoint. When most men
make more.
Most men meet a woman, she could be doing good. She could be doing, but then she has to get, well, I'm not gonna say she has to get pregnant, but she gets pregnant. Now she's out of work. You're financially taking care of her for just the time being. She has kids. She has to take care of daycare. She has to make sure these kids have clothes. She has to make sure they have food because you're no longer in this household. Remember this.
What I mean if the kids are I'm not meaning that far.
I'm not finished. If the kids are sick, she has to take off for work. He's kind of taking off the responsibility of him because he's out the house now. He's not there no more. So therefore, there's a lot of responsibility that still needs to be taken care of in the household that he's
and
leaving.
I'm not arguing that, Neek. What I'm saying is I'm talking about in the beginning when you say a lot of people stay together because they don't want a divorce, and it's not just religious reasons, because it could hurt them financially. The song says it's cheaper to keep her, because if I don't keep her and get rid of her, then I gotta pay. That's the reality to what I'm saying. I'm not going in what you're saying, because what you're saying is right. That's taking it in, you're drilling down into it, and I agree with that. But that's how a lot of men look at it. It's cheaper to keep her. So I'll deal with the unhappiness because I'm not going through that divorce, because I'm not going through all of that financially. They're not.
So you would rather stay in a situation that
some
makes you
people
unhappy. Well, I'm asking you because you said I.
Oh, hell no. I'm gone. I'm gone.
I was going to ask the question.
I'm gone. No, I'm not doing that. I'm not doing that.
I'm going to say it's a trade-off. It's a trade-off. And I agree with her. A woman spends so much emotionally in a relationship. Your ass is gonna spend financially in this relationship. It's a trade-off, bro.
So you're saying that so let's say the man
what do you mean?
No, what do you mean? What if a man is more emotionally yoked to the relationship than the woman? There's some relationships that the woman is not emotionally yoked to at the end of the day. You understand what I'm saying? And wants a divorce, and he still got to pay. So don't give me that crap about he has to financially pay. I'm not saying an abusive man. I'm not saying a man that ain't taking care of his responsibility. I'm just saying that a lot of men stay away from getting married now because it's just too much to pay if you got to get divorced.
And we get that. But you know why a man pays? Because once they bring all the money together, if he has more, they look at the 401k and everything, he's going to make the difference up. If the kids go with him, guess what? She don't get child support. There's a reason why you pay. There's always a reason why you pay. If she makes more than you and you get a divorce with no kids, then guess what? She pays. So it's not all.
So you repeat that again. Repeat that again. If she makes more, then she pays. Did that happen in South Carolina?
Did you really
argued me down 2
years
years ago? You argued me down 2 years ago and told me that crap don't work in South Carolina. That
Who
the man
that?
majority has
I
to
was
pay.
talking about child support.
I'm talking about child support.
So what are you saying about child
I'm
support?
asking you because you argued me down. I said to you 2 years ago that
So
if
you
the
know
woman
word for
makes
word.
more and they get a divorce, that she should pay. Not down here for team. It's
If
not
he
gonna
takes
work like
custody
that.
of the,
I didn't
if he
say
takes
that.
custody of the kids, she will.
Okay.
Exactly.
Okay.
If he gets custody and he's a custodial parent,
Mm-hmm.
she will pay him.
Okay. Cool.
Yeah.
That's
So
the way
make
that's the
sure
way
when
it should be.
Because wait a minute, because you didn't hear what I just said, but repeated it word for word. Now you want to quote me 2 years ago. I know a lot of women that.
So what if the woman has more finances than she has to pay? Yes, it does happen in South Carolina.
Exactly, it happens.
Okay, cool. Good. Because that's the way it should be.
So Tasha says, I have been married 25 years and it has not always been peaches and cream. However, we made a decision. We made a choice to work on and work out what needed to be worked on and worked out. That's the key word, we. It takes two people.
Correct.
If only one person is trying to make the marriage work, it's not going to work.
Correct.
So, Tasha, right before Tasha wrote that, Cynthia Saunders says, I hate when folks say marriage is work. It makes it sound like a job. It shouldn't be that hard. I'm divorced, full disclosure, yes. I got fired. I would never do it again.
And that's what I say.
I would
I
say
said
this.
that it shouldn't be that kind of work because then Nick came behind me and said it's like a job. And
Yeah.
and you're going to resent that eventually.
Yeah. And to her, like, congratulations on 25 years. But, and no disrespect to you, but I hate when people bring up like scenarios like that when it comes into, okay, well, marriage is work. Well, yes, it is work. I've been married for 30 years. We haven't been, it hasn't been its best, but we work every day to decide to be together. So what you're doing is, and a lot of times we don't realize it, what you're doing is you're showing somebody that's in a bad relationship that it may work out. And you don't realize you're doing that. But that's a lot of times, because you're giving them that hope that, oh, well, I know somebody that was together for 25 years and they said that it's going to be work. So maybe this is just a bad time.
No, I don't think it. Me, Veronica, don't take it like that because I can state something. I can speak on what Veronica. If I say, oh, well, I've been married for 8 years and it's a lot of work, but I'm not telling no one to stay in something that they're not happy in. The only thing I'm telling you is the experience that I'm having, the things that I went through. I'm saying that both of us, we had to make it work. We both wanted it to work. So we're working on it to make our marriage, our relationship work. I'm not telling you that to make you stay in something that you don't need to be in. I'm just giving you an example of what I've been in. And I feel like she can speak on it. 25 years being married to someone, that's a long time, especially these days.
I didn't say she couldn't speak on it. I just said in certain scenarios.
Wait a minute. A lot of times people just, they don't make it past 3 years. So, I mean, shouts out to anybody that's married these days and it can say, can speak on that about how they work together and making a marriage work instead of, saying, oh, it was all good. They had no problems. No relationships are
nobody's going to ever say that.
Right. Nobody has a perfect relationship. Everybody has to work in their relationships and in their marriages for things to work out.
Define work.
Work, meaning doing things that to keep each other lifted up into going, like your partners, like work. I'm not saying that it's like work where you have to like drag something out of somebody to make it work. I'm saying like making it work as teammates, and saying good morning, and
I shouldn't have to do that.
Right.
Now,
And
the point of
that's you.
The point of
I'm going to say good morning. How was your day? Is it something I can help you with? Like
facts.
I wanted to go to Brandon before you went to that.
Yeah, but before I say, let me just say this. So my first,
I'm not saying work like you going to a 9 to 5. I'm saying work like I made an example. Good morning.
You have to try.
Right. So my first marriage, I got married March and broke up August. We stayed married, but we wasn't together till we eventually got the divorce, but we was never back together. My second marriage with Hanifa, 32 years, and the last year and a half hit that bump. So the majority of that years, 32 years, raising the kids and doing all that, having a good time, enjoying life, that worked for me. The first marriage didn't work. We both agreed and we separated. Me and Hanifa, majority of the time, you don't hear me saying hard work, because it was really, when I say hard work, it was more hard work when she got sick and she's in the hospital and I got to take care of the kids and deal with the hospital and deal with work. But working hard for that relationship, it was not a lot of hard work in majority of those years. It wasn't.
Yeah, but you put in effort in making.
We both put in effort.
Work. Yeah.
Yeah, I agree with her. Like the whole word work is kind of being put out of context. Like they don't mean, I think she's trying to say that she doesn't mean, like you have to work at loving this person. It's like, it's not going to be easy. Like sometimes you're going to get mad at this person. Sometimes you're not going to want to talk to them. I get all of that.
I see people putting in a lot of hard work. I know what you're saying, Neek, and what Veronica's saying. I'm not going against you, but what I'm saying is that a lot of people that got to work hard in their relationships, a lot of times they just don't mean to really be together. They stay together because of circumstance. It may be convenience, it may be laziness, maybe they don't want to go date again, but if you got to work that hard and it's not really working, that's not a happy relationship. But each his own. Do what you want to do.
I still don't like the example, but yeah, going to that, the point of the example is to give hope, and hope is a drug.
Yeah.
So
But you want to give hope to other people though, and not to tell them to give
hope
up.
Hope is a drug. Hope is a drug. Hope is a drug that will keep something put together that doesn't.
What is this? I don't get the effort part. I don't get it. Like I feel like two people come together, it shouldn't even feel like that.
Okay, I give you an example. Effort. I give you effort. I give you effort, Vic, to go get mad at me. But here we go. So you brought up this scenario before, and just use it as an example. So you're in a relationship, and like you said, you come home, you tired, and you take off your work boots and your clothes and leave them in the couch, go take a shower, come back, and your wife says, "Babe, I done mentioned this to you numerous times." So now that's what effort is, meaning that it's something that you're doing that makes her unhappy, that she's asking you to make an effort. Since you are a partner, now you try to make that effort that understand what I'm saying? That makes her a little bit more happy, brother.
That never happened. So I can't. What I'm saying is that's never happened to me. So what I'm telling you is, when it comes to effort in a relationship, it should never feel like that I'm doing something to put a smile on your face. I feel like I should just do it. I feel like when we're together, you should be happy. When I'm with you, you with me, we happy. If we going out to eat or whatever, to me, that's not effort. If I buy you some flowers or whatever, to me, that's not effort. That's something I'm supposed to do. That's just my opinion.
Effort is... Got it. I agree with that. I agree with Victor.
You have to put in effort. You have to put in all that stuff for it to work.
But he's using.
I think you need to continue being who you are.
Yeah.
Effort is what we're looking at more. Like if you are the person that was buying her flowers, taking her out, like continue dating her. Like I think that's what they mean in regards to putting in the effort to keep the relationship what it was at the beginning.
Exactly.
Keep it in the honeymoon phase.
Effort is kind of like sacrifice. Doing some of the things,
Oh, no,
like
I'm not
Victor saying,
sacrificing.
doing things normal is not effort. Victor, I'm with you on that.
That's not effort.
That's not
just
effort.
what I normally
But
do.
but in the relationship where I hate to use the ups and downs, but when there's challenges, let's just say challenges, when there's challenges, there's financial, let's just say she's working, you working, but it's still not meeting the needs of the bills, then one of you will say, well, I'll take a part-time job just to make things work. That's effort. That's effort right there.
I'm not taking a
That's it.
part-time job. We gonna cut something.
See,
Because two or
Yeah,
anything.
well, effort, I say effort. Well, what they're looking at as far as effort is, even when you're mad at that person, you can still make their plate. I look at that as
That's what you're
effort.
supposed to do.
But that's
If I'm
putting
mad
it.
at you, make your own damn plate.
How
Like,
So I
I
don't
didn't-
want to just. I'm not going to dispute anybody on what their definition of effort is. I'm not doing that. I'm saying me. When I'm doing something that I feel like I'm supposed to do, to me, that's not effort. That's all I'm saying. If I'm supposed to do this, it ain't effort.
I like that, Brandon. It doesn't have to feel like effort for it to be effort. Even if you enjoy doing it, it's still effort.
No, I disagree with you, Brandon.
Jason
But
says
I understand.
this mentality is why two-parent households are as rare as a dinosaur. Dinosaur. Nobody wants to work in a marriage. Y'all put your happiness over the family you created.
you damn right.
And
I'm
Mr.
gonna put
Sammy
my
said,
happiness first
What
every single time.
you say? What? What you said? Neat.
I'm gonna put my happiness in front of everybody every single time.
But
As you
I'm
should.
on
but to be married, Neat, it's not always going to be about you.
If I'm not happy, how can I bring anything to this relationship?
You're
Facts.
not. But see,
And I
it's
mean, and I
coming from-
understand it's not gonna always be peaches and cream. I know that. I'm fully 100% aware of that. But at the same time, if I'm not happy, how can I put forth any effort into this relationship?
facts.
Anything.
I'm not saying that you can't be happy, but I'm saying you can't just put yourself first when you have a marriage. When it takes two, it's coming from two people that haven't been married before, but I'm just telling you how
Well, this
I've
talking
been,
to two
why
people
I
that
won't.
got a
I've been married
divorce.
before.
So,
I've been
I mean,
married
what you
before,
saying?
and I'm telling you, and Jason is clearly married. So we're saying that you just can't put yourself first all the time. Not
Yes, you
saying that you
can.
can't, not saying that you can't make yourself happy. We're not saying that. Of course, everybody wants to be happy, and you have to make yourself happy. But sometimes you have to make that sacrifice and put other people before you, whether it's your husband, whether it's your children. You're gonna have to make sacrifices and put yourself in the back sometimes. I'm not
So-
saying all the times.
So
but
the two
sometimes-
people that you said, the two people that hasn't been married before, and y'all two done got a divorce. So y'all gonna tell us we can't put
And?
ourselves first? Because that's what you said. You
Yeah,
brought
that's
that up.
what I said, and I'm standing on it. And just because I've been divorced don't mean that I don't know what I'm talking about. You have to make sacrifices and putting other people before you to make to make a marriage work. You can't just think about yourself. That's even in a relationship. You don't even have to.
It's-
Yeah,
You
I was
can't-
about to say, even in a
exactly.
relationship, you
You
have to
can't.
make sacrifices. So it's not in regards to, because I haven't been married, I can't give this.
That's a
type of
dictatorship
opinion.
if you think of just yourself and everything
Yes.
is around you. That's crazy.
However,
Mhm.
Facts.
However, I will say this in regards to happiness. Do I have to put sometimes my children ahead of me? Yes, sometimes I do.
Yeah.
Ahead of my happiness. Sometimes I do things that I don't normally feel like doing or want to do for my children. Yes, I do. And for somebody I love, sometimes even for friends or whoever, my mom, all of that. I get that. I get exactly what you're saying. But still, like, I'm gonna think of me first. Because at the end of it, like, I have to have some type of happiness.
Look, Nick,
So I wanted
there's
to-
nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with putting yourself first. But at some point, you're gonna have to put somebody before you. You can't be first at everything.
No, not if
Well,
you're
give me-
working
I'll say this.
together.
Before that, give me an example of that.
Yeah, can I just say what effort? I want to tweak real quick what effort is, because Victor, I said I agreed with him. I tweaked this real
We're
quick.
going back
Effort. Yeah, I'm going back to effort for a moment.
Things come
Because
natural.
effort is a strategy of doing something. So even as Victor says, if I buy you flowers because that's what I want to do, it's not effort. Yes, it is effort because it's a strategy of doing something. Is you're making the effort to do something. You're putting effort as always being the physical work, that it has to be hard work. No, effort could be something pleasurable that you're doing. It's just a strategy that you choose to do. It's not going beyond at times. It can be, but it can be doing things normal because it's just your strategy. This is what I want to do. That's why we playing on the words of effort.
Okay, Veronica, can you give me an example of that so I can better understand?
Give an example of putting like your children or your
Yeah.
husband before you.
Just
Say
put my
if
husband
there's
before me.
say if there's something that I wanted to do. This is just something. This is just something small. Say if I'm meeting my friends at 6:00, going out to eat, but my husband, he left. He had to be to work at 6:00, so he's already gone. But I'm supposed to be on my way to meet my friends to go get something to eat. He left his lunch in the refrigerator. So in order for me to get the lunch and take the lunch to his job, I'm going to be late meeting my girlfriends. But I feel that it's more important that I take this lunch to my husband at work. So I'm sacrificing my dinner date with my friends to go take my husband his lunch at work. So that's putting him before me. I'm not saying that it have to be something big where I'm giving him a lung and I'm only have one lung
Well,
left.
some people have. Some people have given up their organs.
I'm just talking about like simple stuff that you put in yourself, you putting others before you. So that's a small example right there. So you wouldn't take your husband his lunch. You would go meet your friends and say bump his lunch.
It depends. It depends.
Wow.
It depends. Like, and I say that because you have to also be understanding of other people's time. If I told a friend that I'm gonna do lunch with them, and they only have lunch from this time to this time, and they took the time to schedule out this time for me, he may get his lunch after I go meet his friend.
Who's wrong in that? Because if that ain't his first day of work,
I'm gonna tell you who's wrong.
Hold up, man.
Don't ask it as a question then.
Hold up.
You ask it as a question.
Hold up, but damn, hold up.
Right, Alicia.
The thing is who's wrong in that? Because he forgot his lunch. She didn't.
So just because he forgot his lunch that time, so I'm gonna be selfish and say, well, you forgot your lunch. I don't have anything to do with that. No, that's my husband. That's my husband. I'm gonna take the time to get his lunch, take it to him at work, and then meet my friends. And if my friends can't understand that my husband wanted his lunch, then shame on them.
It
but
comes
I'm
down
taking
to
him his lunch.
So the answer to Victor is it comes down to priority. So I understand what Neek is saying, and I understand it was he that forgot his lunch. It comes down to what's priority and who means the most important. My damn girlfriend or homeboy don't mean damn crap to me compared to my damn wife. My wife is priority, and if she didn't do it maliciously, it's different. I'm looking out for what is priority, because when it come down for that bill to be paid or whatever, and the lights to be on, my girlfriend or homeboy ain't paying it. My wife is contributing. Nah, what's priority is what's more important. What's more important to me?
She can't miss a meal.
I just think that's unreal.
She can't miss a meal.
I wouldn't say miss a meal because I would still take it. I'm just gonna go for that lunch date, then take it.
I ain't taking it.
But like if we're going to dinner, like I don't mind being late for dinner. Like that's not. I don't feel like that's sacrificing. I'm just gonna be a little late, and I'll probably be a little late anyway. So I really don't care in regards to that.
And see, Neek, if you was my wife, if you was my wife, I'm cool with that. I forgot my lunch. I knew that your girlfriend carved this time out for you, and you said you gonna bring it after your date, after your dinner date. I'm cool with that because you compromise. You keep your word and you bringing it to me. I'm cool with that because I appreciate that. because I'm the one that forgot it. I appreciate it. But if you shut me down totally, now I do have an attitude. I would have an attitude. But if you say, yo, you know this, cool. I have to eat late. I have to eat during my time of work. I forgot it, but you still took the consideration after that, probably a little tired, but you still got it to me. I appreciate that.
I would see that more as a sacrifice in your friend had a birthday party planned. And the same day as their birthday party, your husband had a work event that he wanted you to come to. Which one would you go to?
You really asked that question?
Yeah, yes. I mean, because that's
work date. Like real work date. I'm going to my wife's work thing. I'm not going to my boy's birthday.
But you have to think of it like this. This person's birthday, like people leave here every single day. Every single day. And if your friend expects for you to show up for them, just like they show up for you, why wouldn't you show up for them?
Because
this work event may come again.
Conflict.
And they're gonna have it whether you here or not.
Conflict. It comes to my cousin had a big 7th birthday party. The only time she's gonna have it. But if I was married and my wife had something, they would understand. They would have to understand. And if they don't, they don't. Because that's the priority. Because the shoe is on the other foot. I would expect that if my best friend Tony says, yo, dude, I got to be to work. You got to go to work, dude. Or you got to go with your wife to the work event. I understand. I would want him to be there, but I know what's priority. That's when we become selfish.
And a friend may very well be understanding like, oh, okay, she has a work event. You know, her husband has a work event, da-da-da-da. But like, to be honest, and I get everybody in the comments are like, oh, I'm going to the work event because it's my husband, da-da-da-da. I mean, unless he's, you know, you being there is going to get him a promotion, like, I don't see him forcing you to be there. He asked you to be there.
He asked you to be there.
He asked you to be there.
I mean, I'm not saying I wouldn't go, but it's just a matter of I don't look at one being more important than the other. I really don't. I don't see one being more important because it's a work event. Like,
so you would rather go to and forgive me if I missed some of it, but you will go be with your friends at, you said birthday party? You said birthday party, right? Was it birthday party?
I would do anything. I said I see both things as being important, equally important. Your friend may feel like her birthday is just as important as this work event.
Well, you know what? Let me say this. My friends, I'm talking about me. My friends wouldn't even ask me to come to a birthday party if I told them that my husband has an event at work. They will give me enough respect to not even ask me that because they already know that's she's crazy. Going to her husband's work event.
Yeah, that's crazy. I'm not even gonna comment on it. I already made my statement. I saying that one door outweigh the other. That means that your man don't.
So
I just really feel like it depends on the event. If my husband's not receiving a reward or some type of promotion, I'm not saying I don't deem it as irrelevant, but like
that's how you're treating it. That's how you're treating it, Neek. But that's how. That's the message. That's the message. That's the message you're sending him. And then when the shoe comes back on the other foot and he does that to you, don't even think about getting an attitude because that's when you start.
But I don't. That's the thing. If I have a work event that is just a work event, I'm just going to show my face, and he skips out on one of his best friend's birthday parties for just so he can show his face, where we probably will both just be looking at each other, twiddling our little thumbs. Like, I'm not gonna put him through that. Like, go enjoy your friend.
But that's not what you're saying. What happens if you ask him to do that? If you ask him to come there,
I can ask anybody to do anything. That doesn't mean
not anybody. It's your husband.
Okay, I can ask my husband.
But hey, she made up her mind.
You want to go?
No, I'm Victor. Victor. She said, "Ask anybody. Anybody ain't your husband. Anybody ain't your wife."
I asked my husband.
Right,
okay,
Jason.
So I asked my husband. Hey, can you go to this event? It's like, I mean, who else would you ask to go to a work event? Really, if you're married, you're gonna ask your significant other. I'm going to this. I don't want to, I don't want to just get dressed one day and go to an event and I didn't ask you, could you go? Did you want to go? Like, out of common courtesy, I think most people would ask their significant others, would you want to go to this event?
At the end of the day,
All right,
you got to do what's good for you. I mean, if I'm always doing what you want to do and you ain't never doing what I want to do, I get that. And I get what both of y'all saying. But at the end of the day, it's just a work event and this is a birthday. I see these people all the time. I don't want to see y'all, especially if I ain't getting paid. So I'm going to the birthday.
So let me see. Let's get some of these comments.
Tasha, they're gonna be clapping.
Brandon says your spouse is more important than anybody else.
Yeah.
Supposed to be.
I wait till you put Natasha's
But it's not showing.
up there.
It's not showing that he's not important
I'm gonna
because.
keep going.
Go ahead, you can keep going.
Mr. Sammy says, if your friend doesn't understand, oh well, exactly. Let me see. Natasha says, so I have to miss my husband receiving an award at work or being recognized for a birthday dinner? Nah.
There's
Right.
another comment that I want you to put up about.
I'm going down the list. Okay. Putting your family first is for an example. Sometimes we have goals that we want to meet, and because of family, we put it off until it's more convenient. That person's birthday party is not going to end because you're not there. It is not your birthday.
Boy, it so seems like y'all one-sided tonight.
No. Nope.
Yeah, y'all is.
This
another thing we've been discussing. Y'all wasn't running down all these comments.
Go ahead, Victor. Go ahead. Make your comment.
I'm gonna read Natasha. She said, "Don't worry."
We all of a sudden down doing it.
No,
we went a whole hour without putting comments up. So exactly. I decided just now.
Exactly, and because they on that side, you got a problem, Vic.
I expected it to be just like that.
Yeah, but it's that the obvious is that the people are agreeing on this side because y'all are kind of standing outside the box. Because y'all are outside the box on this tonight.
Previously, y'all didn't do that.
Excuse me.
But y'all are outside because y'all are outside the box.
Just a second. Time out. On this show right here, I do put up comments. And when I do get to comments, I do go down the line and put up comments. But just because these comments aren't agreeing with everybody, let's be fair here. Okay. So as I continue,
let's
Jacqueline
continue.
says, yes, but where is your priority if you choose friend over your spouse, mate? Because when it's all done, remember you co-sign before God as possibly people with your vows. Which comment was you talking about, Fatine?
It was just something kind of on the funny side, but she said
the work wife.
Natasha, she said, "Don't worry, that work wife gonna step in and and invite you. You come there by yourself." I invited my wife. She went to the birthday party. Girlfriend to comfort him, and that's real. That's real.
But you don't allow that.
You don't have to allow that. Again, you don't have to allow that. But don't think it possibly won't happen.
It shouldn't happen.
It should. In a real world, it does happen.
It should not happen because if you invite, so you just all willy-nilly and
I'm not telling you. I'm just saying.
Well, go ahead, bro. Go ahead.
I'm just saying it can happen. That's what I said. It can happen. You said it shouldn't happen, and you're right on morals grounds. It shouldn't happen. Just like people shouldn't cheat. People shouldn't have sex before marriage, but they do. So it can happen. That's all I'm saying.
So now that you finish, what I'm saying is when you go to an event by yourself, if everybody knows you married, then no one should approach you anyway. You shouldn't allow nobody to do that. That person should have enough respect for your relationship to not come up to you and do things like that. But if you allow that to happen, if you talking shit about your wife at work, if you always constantly saying how dumb she is or she don't never do this, then you allow people to come up and do things like that to you at a work event.
Some people are just real disrespectful and they'll come up anyway just to try.
Even if you got a tight marriage, they'll still do it.
But
that's what I'm saying.
If you have a tight marriage, like it shouldn't even matter if they did or not. But what I will say this, Because I never say if I would go to a birthday party or the event. However, what I will say is it's always a conversation. It's always a conversation. You and your spouse can always have that talk of what's okay and what's not okay. If he really wants you to go, he'll tell you, well, I really want you to go with me to this event. Okay, cool. And then he may say, nah, it's all right. It's just an event. I ain't getting no awards. I ain't getting no promotions. I'm good. It's just to show my face.
But it's
Ain't no
certain
need
things.
in you.
My thing is, my spouse wouldn't even have to say, "I really want you there," because as soon as he say, "Hey, I'm having an event at work tonight.
Thank you.
I'm being recognized for whatever. I'm there, no questions." You got to say, "I really want you there."
I agree with that, Veronica, because I don't like going to marriages for a reason. There's a specific reason. I don't like going. But there were certain marriages, my wife didn't have to ask me. Hanifa did not have to ask me. When her brother got married, I was there. When her best friend neighbor got married, she had to beg me. And it was a Saturday. I play softball. But at certain things, I'm going to be there because this is how we roll. We roll as a unit. And if that's what it has to be, it has to be. I don't need her to beg me for that. I just don't. I don't. It comes to understanding of compromise and putting her first sometime, because she's put me first when she didn't feel well and she got up and cooked dinner. So when I came home, I had something to eat. That's what we talk about effort and working.
But I don't think it's if someone goes to the birthday party, like I said, it's all in a conversation. Having a conversation with your spouse and saying, like, hey, do you mind if I go here and something of the event? If they're like,
After I ask you,
what
if I ask you, listen, babe, I'm saying to you, Neat, listen, we got a big thing tonight. Most of the wives are coming. I would like you to come to be with me tonight. I'm asking you. Now there's a conversation because you still want to go to the birthday party.
Oh my gosh.
Why would there be a conversation on that where I don't hardly ask you to do something like that? So if I ask you wouldn't sacrifice?
If you're saying now if you say that, now I don't hardly ask you to do anything. You can do this one thing for me. I don't like that. That's what he just said.
I'm saying, like, he shouldn't even have to say that.
That's what I'm saying. That's why I'm telling you, it's gonna be hard to hold a husband if you take that.
I think this is where a lot of women lose themselves in relationships and marriages.
Why?
I really do. I wholeheartedly feel like this is where, like I said, I know
we want to support our husband.
It's not even about support. You're just going to an event.
Y'all ain't gonna let
that's supporting.
But no, that's not. If your husband asks you, do you want to go to this event with me, or can you go to this event with me? Why wouldn't he ask you? You're his wife. He got an event coming up at his job. When you see him get dressed and he hasn't asked you, aren't you gonna feel offended that he didn't ask you to go?
Wait, well, are we talking about he's going to ask or he's not going to ask? I'm confused.
No, what I'm asking, no. What I'm asking, because y'all are pressing hard on, well, he asked you to go. Of course he asked you to go. You're his wife. Why wouldn't he ask you to go? If he asked Judy down the street or one of his homeboys to go, you would feel offended, right? Because he has a work event. If he just got up and got dressed one evening and said, yeah, I got a work event, I'll be back, would you feel offended?
Would you feel offended?
What kind of work event are we talking about, Neat? Are we talking about?
No. Just a work event. Just a work event.
What kind of work event? Wait a minute. Is it a work event where he put in extra hours? Is it a work event where he's getting an award? Is it a work event where he
put in extra hours?
You don't have to.
What work event?
No, the reason why I asked you, just a work event. It doesn't matter what it was. Just a work event.
I wouldn't feel offended.
No,
I wouldn't feel offended.
It matters because if it's a work event where it say that the team got to get together and they got to work on a project, that's a work event. If it's a work event.
No, Veronica, it's a work event that he's going to. He didn't ask you to go. Would you feel offended?
Wait, I'm trying to get clarification of what Nick said, because there's different types of work events.
Dinner, work event. Dinner.
We were saying event the entire conversation. Now
dinner work event, Nick.
Yeah, it's a work event. It's an event that he's going to for work.
Right. And he didn't ask you, would you get offended? I wouldn't.
It depends on what kind of event it is.
Hold up. Put Breeze what's the name comment back up there.
That's what.
It's just it's a conversation no matter what.
No,
That's all I'm saying.
No. Yeah,
It's
that's
not?
what I'm saying too, Brandon. I'm with you because I'm so lost. It depends on.
Wow.
It is depending on what work event. If it's a work event where,
The
like
same
I
as
said,
it
where
that we've
him
been
and
talking about.
if it's a work event where him and his team are getting together to do something, I don't have to be there. No, I'm not going to be offended. But if it's a work event where he's getting recognized for something, or it's a work dinner and they're inviting their spouse and he doesn't ask me, yeah, I'll be offended. So once again, it depends on what kind of work event you're talking about, whether I'm
Okay, so I go back
or not.
So I'm gonna go back to it. If it's not a work event that he's not getting a promotion or award or anything, why is it bad that I'd rather go to
Because he
a birthday party?
Because he asked you to go to be there
But
with him.
but he probably asked you to go because you're his wife. Why wouldn't he ask you to go to an event that he's having with his job? But why would he just get up and get dressed and say, "Okay, well, I'm going to this dinner"?
It's not going to happen.
No, that's
ask
not
you
going to
to go.
happen.
What's not going to
You're
happen?
his partner. You're his partner. He's not going to not ask you to go to anything. Work event.
What are you not
Okay,
getting?
so what's the point? I don't get what y'all said. What's the point?
We don't understand why you don't understand.
What's the point of him asking me because I'm his wife? What are y'all getting at by saying
Because it's an event. He's going to ask you anyway.
Okay, and I'm going to go anyway because that's my husband. I'm not going to go to a birthday party when my husband is asking me to go to an event at his job.
I hate to say this.
I'm going where my husband is.
Yeah, and if y'all get mad or y'all correct me, I don't care. But when y'all been in a relationship for a long period of time, this is not something that we would even be debating. And I hate to say this, but y'all just may not can empathize with this. This is not what you do. You, Victor and Neek. Victor and Neek. I'm saying it to what I'm saying
like that, though?
because y'all are not empathizing. Y'all are not understanding this. So
I'm understanding
because you have not done this for a long period of time, maybe.
First of all,
maybe.
wait a minute. I said what I said. First of all, wait a minute.
Go ahead.
Wait a minute. First of all,
my gosh.
First of all, you don't know what the hell I've been through.
I said maybe.
Can I finish? You finished. All right. Just because I don't agree with you, don't necessarily mean I'm right or wrong. Basically, what we've been saying all night long is we're going to make sure we're happy first before we do anything else. If going to the birthday party makes us happy, we're going to do that.
And in a successful relationship,
you don't
say that in a successful relationship that you're giving 50-50.
How do you know that?
I'm telling you, bro.
How can you say what's a successful
Didn't you read most of the comments tonight?
So
the comments don't dictate whether
I got you.
Just because that's the direction they will go in and they're not going to have a conversation doesn't mean somebody else's relationship is not going to have that conversation.
That is true.
Because everybody, like, there are people I work with that I've never met I have never met their wives. Never, ever met their wives.
Right.
And that's what I'm saying. Like, sometimes it's sometimes just a conversation of, hey, I got this event at work. No husband is just going to get up and get dressed.
I mean, I've had work events that some things that you don't invite your wife to. There's some things that you do invite your wife to. It's times when I would invite, she would come. Sometimes I invite, she wouldn't come. That's all to it. And it was no big thing. And that's all. But I hear what you're saying, but I'm just telling you just the way y'all are saying it. I'm not saying you're wrong. I'm just saying from experience, from my experience, and from other people that have been in these things. Me and Veronica's been in this for a minute, and we're saying the same thing.
Been in what?
In a relationship, long-term marriage.
Was it a success?
Yes. As you say,
for 31 years, it was. 30 and a half years, it was.
So have we.
But
30 years?
I've been in a long-term relationship, but I ain't
yes, between 30 years.
Bullshit, oh my gosh, let's get past because it seems like everybody
know that's bullshit.
How's that bullshit?
Because you ain't been married, you ain't never been married.
And you have?
I've been married.
We're gonna wrap it up.
I've been married.
Thank y'all so much for watching the tea
Wait
tonight.
a minute,
Don't
Veronica,
do
where you
that.
going?
But it seems
Don't
like
do that.
everybody is in their feelings tonight, and we're not going to let
Pulling
this show on
everybody.
camera, okay? Because this is not what the show is about. So let's everybody just
We
breathe,
ain't angry at each other.
because this is going nowhere. Everybody want to talk over everybody. Okay, y'all already know what the show is about. You already know how we get down on the tea.
We debate
So
sometimes. We
let's
get angry.
not go here.
We ain't mad at each other.
No
It's
one's
just
upset.
occasion. Nobody upset. What are you talking about? Ain't nobody upset.
It's okay.
We get quiet. Ain't nobody got quiet. And
All right, so
Y'all be
that being
stressing
said,
Veronica out. They be stressing you out, love.
really tonight, really.
Boy, make her head itch.
But what I will say to just like wrap things up here, like everybody's marriage is not the same. Everybody is not gonna go. Everybody is, and some people are gonna go. I don't think you should deem somebody wrong for going to the birthday party instead of going to the event, because that just may be their marriage, and that may be very okay with that husband.
Yeah.
But like, so I like, just because the comments 20 people say yes, 100 more people may say no. So like, you know, you're not wrong, and then you're not right either. I will keep it at that. But
So-
I
so-
also
That's a
don't
fact,
think
Tyrone.
it's,
Yeah.
I
So neat.
also don't. The one more thing, I also don't feel like it's fair to say, well, you've never been married before, because marriage, like I said many times, is just a relationship with a contract. So like, I've been in a 6-year, my longest relationship was 6 years. So I know people who've only been married for 3.
Mhm.
So, you know, they can't tell me, I'm not saying they can't tell me or anything, I can't learn from them, but you can't tell me that that was more important than my 6-year relationship.
So what I was going to say to you, Neat, it comes back to the bottom line of, this is my wrap up too. So it comes back to the bottom line is communication, what you said, and what works for you two as a couple. If that's what it makes it work, that works. Like me and Hanifa did things that other people looked at and they said they couldn't do the things that we did. You understand what I'm saying? So it comes down to the bottom line is what works for you, and y'all respect one another and you love one another, and it works for you, then that's how you roll. I agree with that.
Yeah.
I agree with that.
And my wrap up is, you know, just because, you know, one person believes one thing doesn't mean the other person is wrong. You know, if we can't respect each other's decisions, then there's no point of us even continuing having the conversation. You know, don't throw shots if you're not willing to get shot back. We all need to remember
You
that.
throwing it at me?
No,
I'm
it's
throwing
me.
that at whoever-
He's right. He's
One
right.
thing I
Veronica
will
said, be
say-
direct.
Wait a
He's
minute.
right. He's
Wait
right.
a minute. One thing I will say, if you shoot at me, I'm a damn sure shoot back.
And
You got
that's
that
right.
right.
for
And me
anybody.
too. I'm a
That go for the
down
comment
hard
section.
Leo.
Huh?
Yep. I'm a die-hard Leo. That's right. I'm a
That
shoot.
go for the
You shoot
comment
it at me,
section.
I'm gonna shoot it back at you.
And that go for y'all 3 over there too. Don't shoot unless you want to get shot. And that go for me too.
Oh,
So-
yeah. And I agree with that. I agree with that. I agree with
But
that.
I just felt like it was so. I just felt like everybody was on edge tonight for some strange reason.
Hey.
Everybody's in their feelings for some strange reason. I don't know what it is, but this conversation went left tonight. We were supposed to be talking about memories of past relationships and all. Then we get on divorces, and then we get on
God, the Bible.
not what we're not supposed to do. What's in the Bible? And
That's what we normally do.
No. We got on that real heavy tonight about the Bible and what we shouldn't do, about divorces and all this mess right here.
But I hate to say this, Veronica, you got to realize you're not heavy on that, but maybe we want to comment
But
on
you
that.
know
And
what? If I'm not heavy on it and I can't explain the Bible, that's why I said if y'all want to go there, I'm just gonna shut all the way down. I'm gonna let y'all go at it, because I'm not getting ready to quote the Bible and I don't know the Bible like that. That's not. I'm not doing it. This show is meant to be real with real opinions, and I'm not that person that's just going to be shooting Bible verses and quotes that I do not know about. That's not me. And I'm not getting ready to pretend like I know the Bible. So
The only thing is that
I
when our
wanted to
audience,
shut that down real quick,
yeah,
which
but
I
what
didn't
happens
because
is,
it went on for like an hour.
yeah, but when you got Mr. Sammy and other people making comments and questions, and we responded to them, we're just doing our job.
Well, I
Fact.
said I had
That's all we're
pastors in the
doing. We
comments,
have a
but
right
when
to do that.
When I said I had pastors in the comments, it was, oh, well, what that's supposed to mean? Pastors in the comments. They know more than what I know about the Bible. So that's why I said it was pastors in the comments, and I wanted to get to their comments. But then that became a problem. So I just say everybody just felt like they was, for some reason, everybody just seemed like they was on edge tonight. For some reason. But that being said,
Okay. Edge of night.
thank y'all so much for watching the tea tonight. We appreciate y'all so much. Any final thoughts from anybody on the panel?
Let go of the memories.
Didn't we give our final thoughts already?
Did y'all give final thoughts on memories?
Oh, memories.
But that's what the show was.
Guy.
Yeah, I already said it. Let go of the memories.
It wasn't a letter, Jason. It was just, we was commenting. If y'all can go to the T page and just look at the I posted I think it came from a TikTok. It was sent to me and I posted it on the T page, and there's a lot of people that's commenting and stuff on that particular post that I made. I think it was maybe 2 days ago. I can't remember. But that's where this topic came from tonight, about memories, which we got way off track.
So
we normally don't stay on track. We always jump topics, but for some reason, this right here got way, way, way beyond where it should have been.
My final thoughts on memories is that you learn from the memories. You don't get stuck in the memories, or you wind up living in the past and not in the future. Vic?
I can agree with that. I can agree with that.
Veronica?
Can't add or take away from it. I totally agree with what you said.
Veronica?
I agree with all of y'all on the panel tonight.
You shut this shit down. I'm sorry I had to curse y'all, but I had to go get a beer because y'all, we were in it tonight. I think it was a good show, but
that being said, have a great night, guys. Thank y'all so much for watching the tea tonight, as y'all do each and every Tuesday. We appreciate y'all so much. I hope you all have a great Memorial Day weekend. Whatever you do, be safe. If you're heading down to the beach, as it's bike week this week, I don't know who's going, but if you go, just be extra safe. Whatever you do this weekend, enjoy your life, spend time with your loved ones, and live this thing called life to the fullest. Neat, thank you so much for joining us again tonight. We appreciate you. Brother Fatim, all the way from WBLS Radio Station, New York, thank you so much. My brother Victor, damn it boy White, thank you so much. And all of you, thank you for leaving your comments. We will definitely be going back through the comments and reading your comments and responding if we need to. Once again, thank y'all so much. We appreciate the love each and every week. Until next time, have a great night. Good night.
Buenas noches.